Street. The mayor saying she's pleased to be able to reopen to the public one of our most utilized City Hall offices, especially during the upcoming, usually busy property tax payment period. They've been planning this careful and responsible reopening of the Treasury Tax Collection Office for some time, and Fire Chief Chatraw has worked hard to develop comprehensive safety measures to make visitors to this office as safe as possible, both for the public and for City Hall staff. Well, the Paw Sox aren't the only thing coming to Worcester. The Black Lives Matter mural is coming to Worcester. The mural will be created at Major Taylor Boulevard and Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Painting gets underway early tomorrow morning with around 100 volunteers already signed up to help out. The City of Worcester is providing permission and support for the project, but no financial assistance. A pedestrian was struck by a vehicle which was fleeing from police in the Back Bay section of Boston yesterday. The woman was walking near the corner of Commonwealth and Massachusetts Avenues when she was struck last night. The woman was on the sidewalk when she was struck and was taken to the hospital with unspecified injuries. The unidentified driver of the vehicle was arrested by police at the scene. They were chasing him on charges that will be detailed later today. The body of a 64-year-old Fitchburg, Massachusetts man was recovered off the coast of Rhode Island. Matthew Smith went missing while swimming Sunday night at Scarborough State Beach in Narragansett. His body was located near the shore yesterday morning. There apparently was some strong surf at the time that Smith disappeared. A mother and her 4-year-old daughter are safe after they were rescued from the second floor of a burning home in Medford, Massachusetts yesterday. A mother and child became trapped in a bedroom of the home on Brookings Street early yesterday morning. The woman was able to wave from the window to alert firefighters to her plight. They used a ladder to bring them, both mother and child, to safety. The home suffered significant damage in the fire, which remains under investigation. U.S. Senator from Massachusetts Elizabeth Warren says the Trump administration Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
And a good morning to you. It is time for Coffee Ann on ON Radio. Just like the man said, it's Wednesday morning. It's July 15th. It is tax day in 2020. How about that? Tax day.
Well, they have my money.
I did the right thing.
Right?
I sent it in
all
way back in April.
Back in April. Okay. It's funny. They said, you don't have to file your taxes today, but if you owe, you got to pay by today. That's the way it works. And then you file for an extension to
They haven't
file.
cashed my check yet, though, ironically. The government.
They're behind.
Let's check. We'll see. Global banking.
Take a look at that. In the meantime, I'm Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us. And Tim Draper from Navigant Credit Union. You heard his voice. Hi, Tim.
Good morning.
And we have Paul Willett from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Hi, Paul.
Good morning.
And joining us on the phone, Melissa Smith from the St. Antoine Communities. Good morning, Melissa.
Hi, guys. How are you?
We're doing well. And John Ward, you there as well?
I am here.
All right, so we're all here. Very good. Nice to have everybody here. Before we get going, it's time for first message from Melissa Smith in the St. Antoine community. Take it away, Melissa.
Thanks, Joe. So St. Antoine community, we are located in North Smithfield at the corner of 400 Mendon and 10 Rose Avenue. On our campus, we have 2 buildings with 4 levels of care. We offer assisted living, rehabilitative services, a secured memory care unit, as well as long-term skills nursing support. In our first building on the property, which is the Villa at St. Antoine, it is our 76 apartment assisted living facility. We offer traditional assisted living apartments in 3 different styles, as well as an 8-resident memory care unit. In the second building on our property, it's the largest of the 2. It is our 260-bed skilled long-term and short-term rehab facility. Inside our facility, we showcase the state-of-the-art Easy Street Rehab Center, our secured memory care unit, and our private hospice suite. Normally, I would invite anybody to come on up, meet with me, take a tour of the property. But obviously, with COVID and quarantining, we're not able to do so. But if you'd like more information, feel free to reach out to me at 767-3500. I'd be happy to talk to you over the phone, even send you a virtual tour. And at any point, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much.
How's it going so far with people coming to visit the San Antoine communities? It's been going on for about a week where they can visit up there. Everything going along smoothly?
Well, it's a funny thing you say that.
Okay.
So the media got it wrong again.
No, not that.
Well, yeah, and the state had a little bit of a misstep in terms of when they announced that information. All of us in long-term care sort of cringed last Friday because we had a state call, and on the state call, actually, rewind, it wasn't last Friday, it was the Friday before. And we had a state call being told that the state was going to make an announcement, which was last Wednesday, publicly saying that they were going to allow facilities to start to reopen to visitors.
All right.
Well, they jumped the gun, and word got out too soon, and, rumors spread. The news picked up the story about a week before we even had permission. Any facility, not just St. Antoine Community.
Mm-hmm.
And then last Wednesday, they made the announcement that everyone was reopening, but according to state guidelines, all of the long-term care facilities in the state, so that's assisted living and skilled care, needed to at least open to congregate dining for 2 weeks prior to visitation. So these are measures and steps that the state put in place. So it was sort of this weird false narrative.
Mm-hmm.
When they made the announcement, they said if some facilities were prepared and ready, which we just weren't. We needed to rent a tent. We're the largest long-term care facility in the state. We needed to be able to set up outdoor visitation space. So we just, along with the majority of the other facilities in the state, we're just not ready to safely reopen yet. So technically Monday was supposed to be our first day opening to visitors, and then we had severe weather threats and warnings, so we had to cancel Monday. Same thing happened again yesterday, but today the forecast is predicted to be beautiful and sunny, although it's raining right now.
It's that false narrative again.
That's right.
Gotta love the
The
weather.
fake news.
Yeah, if we could just join hands and say a little prayer together.
Kumbaya.
Smooth and seamless. We are expected at 10 o'clock at the Villa to open up to visitors, and I think visitation at the residence starts at 2. They're all pre-registered appointments. No one can just show up and has to be scheduled. We have to do, obviously, screening procedures. So it's a big ordeal. It's a big process. It's a big step. And, of course, we're all a little nervous. You're reopening, which also means the possibility of exposure. So it's just sort of this mixed bag of emotions, but overall I think the energy in the community, we're excited, our residents are happy, our families are happy.
Okay.
That was a really long-winded answer. Sorry, there was
smoothly.
no short way to give you that information.
Understandable. Go ahead, Tim.
There was a news story last night, I think it was on Channel 10, about a nursing facility in Woonsocket where somebody wanted to go and was mad because the facility wasn't letting them in yet. They didn't have their guidelines in place. And to Melissa's point, it sounds like the state should have said nursing facilities can reopen.
Yeah.
Not that they're going
Will
to reopen,
Yeah.
right? And give them an opportunity to put those protocols in place. It's not easy. I'm going to talk about it in my first spot, the whole concept of social distancing and the amount of space you have in a physical location and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, best of luck over there at the Villa today. So I hope it goes as smoothly as possible.
Thanks, Joe.
All right.
Yeah, we're ready.
Excellent.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, according to the U.S. Justice Department, there was an alleged cocaine pipeline from Puerto Rico to Woonsocket,
Oh,
and it got busted. That's
right.
how they know there was a pipeline for that. Were you informed on this, John, or did you know anything about this?
Absolutely. As soon as I saw it in the news.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not in the public safety department.
Right.
I'm not even sure the public safety department knew from the way I read it.
Okay. More than
I don't know who made the bus.
well, the Justice Department, just the story we got, law enforcement. They conducted raids in several locations in
Maybe
Woonsocket
federal.
yesterday.
So it might have been federal.
Might have been a Fed. Might be the FBI. Yep, responsible for shipments of more than 200 pounds of cocaine coming in from Puerto Rico into Rhode Island. And they decided to do it the easy way. They put it by U.S. mail.
Oh, that's so smart.
I guess the $600 bonus of unemployment money wasn't enough to keep them in their lifestyle.
Yeah, so does it say how many people were arrested?
sometimes you don't see those things right under your nose.
5 people.
So.
Yeah.
UPS is probably USPS is probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, well, you know.
Well, maybe not in this case.
I thought they actually. I thought the Postal Service had equipment that could actually sense certain things.
Like that?
Well, everything puts off an odor of some type
you
or
can
has some
track
sort
the
of quality
progress.
to it that
Yeah.
you can set up detection
Tracking your
systems for. And I thought they did have detection systems that could pick up drugs.
Well, they
Maybe
don't.
it's only certain types of drugs, and maybe it's only if it's wrapped a certain way. But
They don't employ dogs to. Can you speak up a little more, John?
they, I'll try my best, but
There
I'm
you
right
go.
at the microphone.
Okay. Well, you sound a little louder now.
The dogs they use at the airports mostly.
Okay. Well, maybe that's why they thought they can circumvent the airport. We'll send
wanna
it
be-
U.S. mail.
I just think they're just not very smart.
Oh.
Because, you're shipping your drugs through the mail, you're going to get caught.
Well, yeah. Well, that's usually what happens. We ship it once through the mail, and nothing. And it worked.
As Paul
Oh,
said,
we'll
they
just
wanted
keep doing it.
they wanted to track it on their phone. That's Paul. They just wanted to make sure there's a tracking label on it so they could know exactly where it went, what state it was in.
Should arrive by 2 p.m. today.
That's good stuff. Yeah. So that's what took place in Woonsocket yesterday. They did arrest 5 people. From what I read yesterday, a couple were from Cranston, but maybe they just were arrested here in Woonsocket. So
Joe, just
Yeah.
not to change subject, but should we take care of the legal qualification before about my candidacy?
oh yeah, okay, sure. Dave mentioned it a little earlier, but John's here because he can be here because go.
Because we got the signatures, we turned them all in by last Friday, but technically we're not officially candidates until the Board of Canvassers meet to certify everything, and they're not doing that until 9 o'clock this morning. So we are not officially candidates until
Later
after
on.
that meeting at 9 o'clock this morning. So
Okay.
I'm not yet officially a candidate, so there's no equal time requirement yet.
Okay. Well, that's why John can be here with us today. Today will be his last appearance until sometime in November, unless something happens. Were you surprised, John, by the way, that there's going to be no preliminary vote?
So I think I said that last week.
You did. Well, you said the rumor was out there
The
that
rumor was.
that looks like someone was going to drop out, and looks like someone did.
Yeah, we had heard that Wendell had not picked up papers to get signatures, so I didn't want to spill the beans on the guy.
Yeah.
But it was out there that we were not going to have a 15th person. So
Now,
it saves us some money.
it does save money, but did you want to you personally, would you have preferred a preliminary vote?
I like them because it gives you a sense that it lets you gauge your popularity, I guess is the word
Yeah.
to say, or your support in the community based on how you rank in the preliminary runoff. And by the way, I should say, no, it's not going to actually save us a vote because although maybe, I don't know if there is a primary at all in Woonsocket, because I don't know if any of the rep or Senate seats have any primary challengers. So it could be that in this city we don't have a primary at all.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like you said,
It's not party challenge.
you can't gauge where you are amongst the
Right.
populace.
So you just, but it also saves you a little money that you don't have to do advertising early for the first round. And,
Yeah.
But you still have to run a campaign. You have to let people know you're interested in the job because basically what it is an application for a job.
Right.
You want to offer your services to the community. You got to let people know that you're truly interested in doing the job.
Okay. We want to get into something really important, but then we got to take a break. So all right. Well, Pontiganset High School is thinking of changing their names of their mascot name.
And immediately I started wondering how long it's going to take for Woonsocket.
You know what? Pontiganset is called the Chieftains, and so that's for some, and to some people that's racist. And you know what it is, John? And I noticed this when I went to, actually back when I went to college, and we were talking with the people from different towns. Nobody knows what a Villanovan is.
Well, Joe, I had recommended when they left the building at Park Place that they seriously consider changing that designation, and I'll tell you why. The reason they were called the Villanovans was when the high school moved from High School Street, which is now the Harris School, when it moved from there to the new the new building in 1920-something when it was built at Park Place, that piece of land inside that square was a park. And the name of the park was Villanova Park.
Okay.
And so
To keep the name.
The Woonsocket High School Villanovans.
Okay.
Well, then they took over the entire square, so there was no Villanova Park anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even on Villanova Street. And so and then when they left that space and went to the high school on Cass Avenue, you start to wonder, does it make sense to be called Villanovans if you're not associated with something that hasn't existed now for over 100 years, which is Villanova Park?
Okay.
And now when you have combined that with I believe it's a depiction of what would have to be considered a Plains Indian based on the headdress,
Yep.
you have to wonder if maybe it's time to rethink the whole thing and set up some sort of group to study how they can rethink the concept of what the Villanovans should be. Or
I just find it funny because no one's going to protest against them because no one knows what it is.
Right.
And they don't realize that a Villanovan is an Indian.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So they just, we'll just leave it alone.
For now. For now.
It's a park.
It's a park.
It's a park that hasn't existed for over 100 years.
All right, there you go. All right, it's time to take our first break here on the Coffee AM program. So it's time for a second message from the St. Antoine community. So back to you, Melissa.
Well, I had every intention of sharing with you the good news about reopening to visitation. Since we already covered that, I will just dive into just some friendly reminders for the families that are coming out to our community today. Just making sure that they arrive a little early because we are obviously mandated to conduct a full screening process of everybody who's coming onto the property. Reminding everyone, even though this breaks my heart, to not touch your loved one.
Yeah.
6 feet of distance is really important. These are all just incredibly important safety measures that we must enforce to protect our residents. But I also just wanted to do just a huge shout out to staff because it sounds so easy, right? Reopening to visitors. It is not. It is a very time-consuming planning process, but also a dedication of hours in addition to their day-to-day job. So a lot of folks are working overtime without getting the pay for it just to be able to offer those extended hours to our families to come visit when they get out of work. So we're doing evening hour visits, and I think I just wanted to draw attention to that and make sure that the staff knew that we appreciate everything that they're putting into this. And then I know you're probably missing Natalie Mack today because she's really your favorite person. In
No
her
comment.
Tim's laughing, and I feel like it's because, you're participating in the golf tournament, I hear, this year.
Yes.
And, and that you and Natalie are becoming very good friends, and I'm feeling a little jealous. But in her absence, I just wanted to share with everyone that we are moving forward with our golf tournament, as Natalie has brought up the last few weeks that she's been on, and that is August 17th. If anybody is interested in participating or sponsoring this event, you can reach out to Natalie by email and mac@stantoine.net, or you can reach out to me and give me a buzz, 767-2574. Thank you.
I have no favorites, Melissa. I love you all equally.
I know. I feel like I really need to get myself into the studio to remind you of my awesomeness. But
There you go.
until that happens, I'll just have to keep poking jabs at you. So.
That's all right. Fair enough.
Just for the record, I've registered to play in that as well. It's Paul Willett from the Chamber.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Do you have any openings? You want to drag Joe along?
Yes, he does.
But, Joe, are you a golfer?
I haven't golfed in a number of years.
Then let's get him on the course.
Well,
That'll be fun.
Most of the people who play in tournaments are like that.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
All
why.
right.
That's why they take 6 hours.
All right, time to take our first break here in the Coffee AM program. More is coming your way. Comments and questions can be called in 766-1240.
Ed Carew here of the Carew Investment Group, 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. Our telephone number is 765-8880. At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal management of investment accounts, and depending on what you're looking for, we can create a portfolio that provides you with current income, invest for growth for the future, and of course our primary focus, which is managing retirement money from client rollovers of their 401k plan after they leave the workforce. Whatever your goals are, we can put together a program to assist you. And remember, I've been in the business of investing for clients for over 30 years, helping people just like you with their investments. So call me at 765-8880. Securities offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
Who doesn't love a great barbecue outside? And now, outside dining is being offered at Gotta Q Smokehouse Barbecue under the big tent in the parking lot. Dining in the tent takes place Thursdays and Fridays from 3:30 to 9 and Saturdays and Sundays from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. You do need to call Gotta Q Smokehouse Barbecue and make a reservation. So call 401-475-4BBQ. That's 475-4BBQ. The same great menu will be available, and rotating dessert trucks will also be on hand. More exciting food options are coming soon. Call 401-475-4BBQ for reservations under the tent at Gotta Q Smokehouse Barbecue in the Sierra Plaza, Mendon Road, Cumberland. The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
ON Radio.
And it's Coffee In on ON Radio. Joe Callahan here with Tim Draper and Melissa Smith, John Ward. They're both on the phone. Paul, let's hear from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Paul, time for first message from the Chamber.
We have a lot going on. A lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, but we're very excited that next week is going to be our first in-person event in 4 months, I guess. So it's going to be a lunch and learn. It's going to take place at... No.
Start over.
I'm going to rewind that because I'm reading in order here. Let me tell you about the lunch and learn first. That's going to be next a week from today, and we have the chief economist from J.P. Morgan Chase, James Glassman. He's going to be talking about what life is like during and after COVID from the business sense. And I guess if we had a crystal ball, it'd be kind of tough to look into it to see what the economy is going to do in the near future. But Chief Economist Glassman is going to be addressing that. There's no cost to attend. It's going to be a virtual event. You just go online, you register, and you'll be sent a link prior to the presentation. The other thing that I was talking about is our first in-person event. That's going to be on the 28th, and it's going to be the Women's Council Business Networking event. It's going to take place at Troop on Valley Street in Providence. And just because it's called a Women's Networking event, that doesn't mean that guys like Tim and Joe can attend. It's welcome to... I shouldn't say welcome. Men are welcome to attend as well. That is going to be a limited amount of attendees. Right now, I think we have about 28 or so people registered. So not sure exactly what the cap is going to be, but we are going to limit the amount of attendees. And then coming up next month on the 25th, we're going to have the Bold in Business Women's Luncheon. A couple of women's events taking place this summer. It's a new initiative that Liz Catucci, President and CEO, committed to when she took the position to establish a women's business council, and it's been very well received. So those are the three things we have coming up for the summer. Again, we continue to do a lot behind the scenes. If you are a salon, a tattoo artist, if you have a tattoo studio or a high-touch business, we do have some N95 masks that we are distributing, and as well as eyewear protection. So if you're interested in that, you can call the Chamber at 334-1000. And if you're interested in any of the events that I mentioned, you can visit our website and register in that way at richamber.com.
All right, Paul, thank you very much. One more thing back on the whole Ponegants and I possibly changing the name of the chieftains. In the story, a woman is quoted. Her name is Lauren Spears. She is the executive director of the Tamaquag Museum and educator on Rhode Island's indigenous people's history. She says it's not just a sports team, it's just racism. All right. And she says, she goes on to say that the mascots do not honor indigenous people. Even team names of Native American titles like the Chiefs or the Chieftains are racist. I disagree because I did hear on our news it was a Native American who thought the logo for the Washington Redskins, former Washington Redskins, did honor Native American people, and they said it was a perfect image of them. They thought it was great.
It's going to be a personal opinion.
Yep.
It is. And so
Right now,
that's the way things go.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how far this goes. You know, we talked about last week if Smithfield Centennials, it's a centennial, he's holding a musket.
Yeah.
You know, does that promote violence? So
Years ago, they tried to get rid of the UMass Minuteman because he was holding the rifle. That never went anywhere. All right. Anyway, John, we did have a message that was called in back on Monday, and I don't know if the city council has any kind of bearing or any kind of if they can do anything about this, but they were basically there was a complaint that RIPTA does not stop on Park Avenue except at Park Square. So if you're at the other end of Park Ave, you got a long walk. And so they were complaining about that. Now, does the city council, do they have any kind of way of reaching out to RIPTA to say, hey, can you put another bus stop on Park Ave?
The council or the mayor, I guess, could send a letter to RIPTA asking about creating something more convenient for passengers to pick up maybe do a spot for pickup near the convenience stores or further down the hill near Green Street or something to that effect. I'm not sure what their stops are. I think there's one on Hamlet Avenue, but yeah, that's a good solid mile from one end of the to the other. But I think it would, the letter could be written, but it would have to be sent to RIPTA, and they would have to make a decision administratively about where the stops are.
Yeah, and RIPTA could just ignore it, couldn't they? Well, that's nice, but that's not in our plans.
But they can be persuaded. As you may remember, there was a stop down below the train station, the depot, was their main stop in the city, and that created something of a traffic problem, and they ended up moving it down to Cummings Way. So they can be persuaded if they are spoken to often enough, and something is expressed to them that makes it worth their trouble to listen.
So you think this is something that should come from the mayor's office?
Well, either one.
Okay.
But I think it would probably be more persuasive coming from the mayor's office, because any individual councilman could ask, but they're just a councilman,
right?
And it's not the council as a body asking, where a mayor's office can generally hold greater sway in these one-on-one conversations about things such as this. Not that the council can't, but and I'll certainly look into it. But but I think in sending any communication out about it, I will probably copy the mayor's office so that follow-up could be done.
Okay, Melissa, does RIPTA have a bus stop outside the villa?
The bottom of the street.
Oh, did they?
At the bottom of the street. I know that we years ago, like from what I understand anyway. Thinking on the 15-plus year mark, there used to be a stop right up here on the property, and it got rerouted because it wasn't utilized. And I don't know. I think there's one at the end where I think it connects with Great Road, and I'm drawing a blank on the name of the road. And then that's the North Smithfield side, and then on the other side there's like a back road access point down in Woonsocket. So I think in both walking directions from our property, I think it's like a half a mile in one direction and about a full mile in the other direction.
Okay.
It's not that easy to access for staff that need it.
Yeah. Okay.
When they look at more stops, it's a numbers thing. So if they probably wouldn't have another stop at the end of Park Avenue if it's 2 or 3 people.
Right.
But you know, it's worth it to contact them, and I'm sure John remembers there was supposed to be a hub back in 2000. 20 years ago, there was supposed to be a hub in Woonsocket, and
RIPTA hub?
RIPTA hub, and that got scratched.
And Paul mentioned perfect reasons, and it's what people will say. Why don't we have a supermarket in the middle of Woonsocket? Paul used the perfect term. It's about the numbers. If you don't have ridership, you're not going to put a stop in the area. If the demand's not there, even they have to try to minimize their losses, and they do run a loss every year, but they have to minimize the amount of subsidy they require. And with supermarkets coming to downtown, if you don't have a demographic with enough income in that general area and you don't have enough traffic count, they're not coming. So it's marketing. There's marketing even involved in public transportation.
Yeah, I've always...
That doesn't mean they might not add a stop if there's sufficient demand. And I think of specifically the fact that you've got Crapo Court right down the street. There may be some people that want to hop a bus there. Chateau Claire is right there at the corner. There may be reasons for them to consider it.
I've always used Ripter as a classic 22 situation because if they don't have the ridership, they cut the routes. And people don't use it because it's not user-friendly. So in other words, if you have someone, say from who lives in Lincoln, and they want to come to Woonsocket, they have to get on the bus at Lincoln Mall. That route goes to Providence, then comes back. So, if you're a single mom and you have daycare issues, it takes you a couple hours to go.
Yeah,
it should take 15 minutes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. You always wonder why they can't do it like Disney. The way Disney just seems to be so efficient in their busing. Of course, they've got a bazillion of them, and they just keep going around.
That's right. All right, time for the second message from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce, Paul, and then we'll take another break on Coffee In.
Well, thank you. We continue to be busy at the Chamber. We have, I mentioned masks earlier. We've been distributing a lot of masks, eyewear, and hand sanitizer to businesses. We were very reactive when the whole COVID situation broke. We've been communicating with our members, new information as we get it. Just a message, if you still haven't taken advantage of some of the funds that are out there, as I'm sure Tim will attest as a lender, there's still money out there to help you. The last thing we want to see is businesses to go out of business, and there is help out there. The Chamber has a lot of resources to get you connected to any information that you need, whether it's developing your COVID plan for reopening or whatever. We can get you all that information. So resources are something that we've always done. The General Assembly is back in session. They're meeting. They're going to be looking at the budget, and this is the time of year where the Chamber keeps a watchful eye on legislation. We probably follow some 300 bills a year that impact business, and just that alone is worth it to become a member of the Chamber. And then I mentioned some of the networking events that we do. We also have educational opportunities. Most of them are being held virtually now, and most are at no cost. So if you're a member of the Chamber, we thank you for your support. If you're not a member of the Chamber, I know these are difficult times. We can work with you on perhaps a payment plan to become part of the Chamber. So give us a call, 334-1000. Or you can learn more about us on our website at nrichamber.com. And we have a saying that says business matters, and that's true. Everything we do is to make business more successful.
Very good, Paul. And more of the Coffee and program is coming your way. Please stay tuned. But first, I'm going to give you the weather forecast being brought to you by Gas Buddy Fuel Better. Today will be cloudy skies this morning, gradually becoming sunny this afternoon with a high near 76. Tonight, partly cloudy, low around 60. Thursday, partly sunny, high near 78. Thursday night, mostly cloudy, low 62. Friday, mostly cloudy, slight chance of showers, high near 78. Saturday, mostly sunny, and a high near 90. Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street, we have 69 degrees. Hate paying too much for gas? Then you need Gas Buddy. Gas Buddy saves you money no matter where you fill up. Download the app or visit GasBuddy.com. Gas Buddy, fuel better.
I'm here with Kara Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency. Kara, what can you tell me about the insurance industry?
The industry changes so frequently due to many different factors, things like increased weather-related storms, the invention of smartphones and social media, which increase the amount of distracted drivers, even the cost of cars. Today, people are buying $30,000, $40,000, even $50,000 cars with every kind of option you can think of. All these things impact the insurance industry, and it's important to keep current.
You're in good hands with Allstate and Kara and Celeste Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency, 125 Eddie Dowling Highway, across from Dowling Village in North Smithfield, 765-5000.
Our business is truly a referral business, and we have built it based on our premier service level and commitment to what we do. If you are looking for personalized service with people who care, that would be us.
When it comes to kitchen and bath remodel projects, no one wants to feel like they have to tame a lion. That's why the team at Countertops by Superior consistently deliver the highest quality and customer satisfaction you have come to know and expect. Countertops by Superior has a 5-step process to getting new kitchen or bath countertops in your home. First step is a free, all-inclusive, in-home sales quote. Second step is you choose a stone for your countertops. They have beautiful engineered and natural stones. Third step is they will visit your home and formulate an exact template for your countertops. Fourth step is you come back to the showroom to digitally lay the template out on your chosen stone. The fifth step is installation day. Countertops by Superior invites you to their showroom, and you can see for yourself all the beautiful stones in the slab room. No lion taming at Countertops by Superior, 840 Cumberland Hill Road, Woonsocket. Visit them online at countertopsbysuperior.com.
It is the Coffee and Program on ON Radio. This is Joe Callahan here with Melissa Smith and John Ward and Paul Willett and Tim Draper from Navigant Credit Union. And Tim, time for first message from Navigant.
This show is just full of commercials and information, Joe, isn't it? So let's continue with the information. That's right. So let's continue the information discussion. This is specifically for our friends who go to the Park Square branch in Woonsocket. As everybody knows by now, we have kind of a limitation of 15 members per branch inside at any given time. That's not because we're choking down the number of people in there because we want to. It's because to socially distance everybody correctly, there needs to be a sort of a cap on the number of people inside the lobby. Mm-hmm. So, in an effort to make that a little bit more efficient for us, because otherwise we have to take somebody off the teleline or member platform and stick them at the door and count. So we're going to do a couple of things in Park Square to try and help the situation out. We're putting those round dots that say, socially distanced, stay 6 feet apart. There will be 15 of those on the ground in Park Square. So if there's somebody standing on a dot, then you know that there's 15 people because the dots will end at the vestibule in the back of the building. There'll be a sign there that also says, if somebody is standing on that dot, please wait until somebody comes out before you go in.
Okay.
Sanitize your hands, wear your mask. We will ask you to lower your mask at least 1, maybe 2 times when you enter the branch, just for identification purposes, and make sure, we can help you out and make sure everything is all copacetic. But I think the biggest change for folks will be the ATM vestibule that's in the front of the building will be for ATM use only. You can't get into the branch from that way. You're going to have to go back around the building to the main entrance to go into the branch. Mm-hmm. You also cannot go out that way. You have to go out the main entrance. So please try to remain socially distanced as you walk out the door. And really, it's all about trying to keep our staff protected, keep our members protected, and follow the state guidelines, which so far, by and large, knock on wood, have worked. And so we'll try to continue do our best to make sure that happens. We've been inspected. 7, 8 of our branches have had state inspectors come in, and we've been given a perfectly good A+
excellent
from those inspections.
Not surprising
so
with the Navigant.
that's important to us. It's important to our members. It's important to our staff. And like Melissa said, kudos to the staff for bearing with us.
Yeah.
It's really a challenge. So if you see some slight changes in Park Square and they're not dramatic, it's just we're really asking folks to let us maintain that 15-person in-branch traffic pattern. And I think next week you're going to actually hear from Amanda, because Amanda's going to be sitting in for me next week. I have a vacation, so
Tim,
get the A-team.
Question, have you put a sign up for, like you said, the ATM access is just going to be for ATM? I had a situation where, some people just don't wait until, somebody comes out and then go in. So I had a person who actually, I was at an ATM, person actually put his card in and came in.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, buddy.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what? That's a good point, Paul. I might just actually add that to the signage to the front. ATM is open, one member at a time. That's probably the best way to do that. Good point. Thank you for reminding me of that. That's. I think we'll do that.
Good idea.
Okay, John, we had a message that was called in for you. This is back on the RIPTA stuff. To Mr. Ward, there was a bus stop for years on both sides of the street near Park Avenue Spa, which is now Debbie's, near Blakely Street. It has been discontinued for the past 4 or 5 years. So I guess they're looking for it to come back.
I can only speculate that there may not have been people waiting there for a bus, and
maybe not.
They stopped it for some reason. Again, it's an administrative decision made down in Warwick or wherever they are. I think it's in Warwick.
All right, John.
The question can be asked, and that's now that I know where it was, I could certainly ask the question.
Okay. Take a look at the front page of today's call from your city council meeting on Monday. The council decided to do away with the TIF program, the Tax Increment Financing Project.
Yes.
Why did you decide to do away with this?
Well, it didn't. Usually, my experience with TIFs has been that they are project-based and they have some specific purpose in mind. This TIF was set up, created at the same time a redevelopment zone was established that included the industrial park and the land out to Mendon Road where the Resch Corporation is looking to move their operation. And it may have included the possibility of building another access road. It may have included some other projects, but there was so little communication between among the administration, the redevelopment agency, and the city council, meaning that when the redevelopment agency was doing something, they weren't informing the council, they weren't giving us budgets as required by law. They really weren't communicating with us at all, and they were acting as an autonomous body that could basically ignore the council. And I guess the majority of the council got tired of being treated as second-class citizens and not part of the process, and so they said, if there's work we need to do there, put a proposal before the council, and we'll certainly support it if it has merit. We don't need a savings account created by some tax revenue increase in order to do it. Just tell us what you need, and we'll talk about how we can do it. And when they open up those lines of communication at some point in the future, maybe we can go back to doing it. But the cooperation was non-existent, and so the majority of the council got tired of being treated that way and decided we'll eliminate the program and we'll force them to come talk to us if they have an idea they'd like to pursue. And unfortunately, that's how it played out.
Okay. Taking a look at another story that's on the front page of today's call. This is basically between Council Member John Breen and the mayor going back and forth about whether or not City Hall should be open. Do you have a stance, John, on what about City Hall? I know you work in Lincoln, so I guess you compare it to what Lincoln's doing to what Woonsocket's doing.
Yes, and Lincoln has been open since May the 18th. We have put in, we had the whole, every town building was cleaned out by specialists, and it came a special company that came in to do it. We have trained the employees. We have a full supply of masks and disinfectants. We have shields put up for people interacting with the public. We have limited access to the vault where the land records are kept in order to protect anybody going in there, in that case, by appointment only. But basically, we're open for business, and we have not encountered any problems. We demand that people coming in wear a mask. Our staff wears a mask when dealing with the public or getting too close. We have clean pens, and they clean down the counters and their equipment and their desks every day, and it works. And why Woonsocket is somehow different than most of the rest of the state, I'm not quite sure. But, that's the administration's call, and John Breen just wondered, with so many communities opening their town and city halls, why Woonsocket was lagging, because mostly it inconveniences people dealing with land records and property transactions, because they can't file deeds, they can't do things that are legally required because they're simply denied access. Something made of a mockery of us, because we had our board of canvassers sitting outside on the sidewalk at one point. Pretty much every other board of canvassers is going into their city or town hall to hold their meetings, because they're not large bodies of people. In our case, it's 3 people. And they would go into, in Lincoln, they go into the town council chamber where there's plenty of room for them. They hold their meeting. They do their work. Why Woonsocket is forcing them into the train depot, or I guess now the mayor is seeking out other meeting venues for public bodies other than City Hall. I honestly don't know why we have such an extreme level of protectionism. I know the mayor made the statement about the fact that our COVID-19 diagnosis rates are high, but the false premise of that argument falls on the fact that we're high, as is other urban areas, because mostly, nothing personal, Melissa, but mostly because we have a high concentration of nursing homes, and they have a high count when it comes to diagnosis. And so they make the numbers in the urban areas go up higher than the rest of the state. But that doesn't mean people coming in and out of City Hall are necessarily have a greater propensity to be walking in with a positive diagnosis and are going to spread the disease. So I understand how you can make the argument, but I don't necessarily think that it's as valid as it sounds because of the high number of nursing home patients that are involved in our count.
Okay. Melissa, still with us?
Yes.
Okay. Just wondering how the St. Antoine community fares during the crazy weather we've had over the last couple of days. Anybody get caught outside?
So what do you mean in terms of
the downpours? Yeah. Any residents?
No, actually, I just posted yesterday to our community page a beautiful picture. We have some real daredevils in our community, and we have a beautiful overhang at the villa. I don't know if any of you all have been to our property, but the villa is kind of this round structure. It's like a French country-style architectural design, but there's this beautiful overhang on the inside of our courtyard area, and I got to tell you, it was lined with people yesterday just enjoying being sort of that, like, protected from the rain, could watch it and enjoy it like a little kid. Like, I thought for sure the residents were going to run out in the puddles. But
start jumping up and down.
The lightning thunder was going on all around them. They had no kids for enjoying being protected from the rain, but just being out there like a little kid would. And so I threw a picture up on Facebook of it, and a lot of people were enjoying it because they are little kids at heart, but nothing's keeping them away from enjoying the weather, even if it's bad.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. All right, it's time for another break here on the Coffee and Program. So, Tim, time for your second message from Navigant Credit Union.
All right, real quick, Joe. So this week, actually next week, those members, business members specifically, who took advantage of the Paycheck Protection Program through Navigant Credit Union will likely be getting an email next week with a very important link to the forgiveness application. So that's what we're starting to talk about now. If you took out a PPP loan and you are following the SBA and what they're doing, they are just about ready to go now with their forgiveness applications. I don't think there's going to be many changes to the application at this point. We're just putting our finishing touches on the process. When you get the email, follow the link. It'll take you to an application that you really will need you got to take your initial application, so go find it, and then you're going to need your tax identification number and your business name and things like that to apply for the forgiveness. The process shouldn't be painful. It should be fairly easy. You're going to need utility bills that you use the money for. You're going to need your payroll slips that you use your money for. We highly encourage everybody to talk to your CPAs, your attorneys, your tax accountants, anybody that you're dealing with to help run your business for those types of questions. Our lending team is not going to be able to give you the answers to those questions because they're specific to your business. So consult your professional staff that you use to provide the documentation that you're going to need. And then, the process, the system walks you through the process. There's a couple of approvals that need to happen over time, and the whole thing should take a maximum of, I think the SBA has 3 months to give the forgiveness notifications out, and then we'll notify you that that's been done. So look for that email if you are a PPP person. And another thing Paul mentioned real quick, if PPP was not enough for you to get through and you do need some capital, you need some commercial money to help your business along, don't hesitate to give us a call. If we can help, we will help. That's really kind of been the way we've approached this whole thing. So if you need any help, call our business lending team at Navigant CU, Navigant Credit Union at 233-4700, or visit us online at navigantcu.org.
All right, Tim, thanks. More Coffee In is coming up. Please don't go anywhere.
Riverfront Patio Dining awaits you at River Falls Restaurant. Enjoy your lunch or dinner as you overlook the Blackstone River. Here are some of the wonderful items on the menu: steak and peppers pizza, baked stuffed haddock, and choice filet mignon. Make your River Falls Restaurant reservations today by calling 401-235-9026. 235-9026, or go online to riverfallscomplex.com. You'll love the Riverfront Patio Dining at River Falls Restaurant, Market Square, Woonsocket.
Is your business struggling to be found on Google? Are you still trying to figure out how Facebook works? Are you wasting your money on social media? Do you just need more customers? If you do, then contact the local digital marketing team at Breeze Digital Media in Lincoln. Breeze Digital Media has programs that are approved by Google and Facebook and are designed to grow your business. Packages start at only $199 a month and include easy monthly reporting so you know where your investment is going. Contact Breeze Digital Media for a free marketing analysis of your business today. Call 401-334-9555, extension 154, anytime, or visit breezedigitalmedia.com/offer.
This is Kirk Whalum. And I'm Dave Koz, and this weekend, the Dave Koz Radio Show proudly welcomes one of the great saxophonists, Kirk Whalum, back to our studios. Remember to visit DaveKoz.com during the week and be here this weekend for lots of fantastic weekend music and Kirk Whalum on another edition of the Dave Koz Radio Show.
Hi, fans of smooth jazz. The Dave Koz Radio Show can only be heard on ON AM and FM, 1240 AM, 99.5 FM every Sunday. Twice on Sundays, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., and again 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. The Dave Koz Radio Show is brought to you by the Carew Investment Group. It's the Dave Koz Radio Show every Sunday right here on
ON, AM, and FM.
Okay, Coffee In on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan with Tim Draper, Paul Willett, and on the phone, Melissa Smith and John Ward. We have a message that has been written in to Mr. Draper.
Oh, boy.
Ooh, not even Tim, it's Mr. Draper.
Wow.
Uh-oh. Okay, recently I wrote a check and realized after I sent it that it was an error. Mm-hmm. It had yet been deposited. I called Navigant and told them I wanted to void the check. Mm-hmm. The rep said there was a $30 charge. Wow, that seems way overcharged.
Well, you know what? I think if you wanted to give us a call on that one or give me a call on that one, I can do a little research on it. It's tough to talk about specific instances without the information in front of you. Mm-hmm. But there are stop payment fees on certain things that we have. It requires some research to do. Some of it is not even us. Some of it is the there's this ethos out there, the ACH NACHA they call it. It's all about the clearinghouses and when you write checks and when they're in process and they have to get stopped. It's not just Navigant Credit Union that has to stop it. We have to actually go through the system and stop it all over the place. Yeah. So the fee is there. It's not great. But we try to do our best, and if there's an extenuating circumstance, then, as always, we look at those. We take those cases case by case. So, if you think that there's an issue, then by all means, give me a call, and I'll see if I can look into it.
Okay, very good. Melissa, you talked about earlier how the media jumped the gun. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Well, probably wasn't the most appropriate way for me to put it, but
okay,
yeah.
That's fine. But kind of similar to that, you just always wonder why things make the news. And we had another example yesterday, and all the stations carried it. All the TV stations carried it, I should say. And it was ready. It was Bill Belichick made a Subway commercial.
Yeah,
and I'm like, so what?
I know. And
what's wrong with Bill?
He was hungry.
Go ahead, Melissa.
I have to say, I'm just curious what your thought was when you saw it, because I didn't even realize it was a Subway commercial. I just saw him sitting on a bench, and I'm like, why?
Eating a sandwich.
Is he filming Forrest Gump? Like, what is happening? There was a similarity in his outfit and the bench or whatever. I didn't even... The first picture I saw that showed him on the bench didn't have the Subway in his hands. And I just thought, oh my gosh, is this a spoof? Like, ESPN does those little comical...
Yeah, right.
And so I thought maybe that's what it was, but no, yeah. I'm surprised. He's doing a commercial. Very exciting, right?
He must like Subway.
They get rid of roast beef. I'm not happy.
Preparing for life after coaching?
Yeah, maybe.
There's no roast beef at Subway anymore?
I went into a Subway in Cumberland the other day, and they told me there was no more roast beef.
They discontinued
Well,
it?
maybe
They took it off the menu.
Maybe it's the price.
Took it off the menu.
I don't know. So somebody from
Wow.
corporate was apparently sitting there, and when I asked the guy that I thought
Yeah.
owned the place why they got rid of the roast beef, he goes, "Ask those people." So I turned around and I went, "Why'd you get rid of the roast beef?" The guy says, "Yeah, I know there's been a lot of people around here not happy about that." I said, "Yeah, I know, I'm one of them."
Oh, wow.
What about
okay.
they have like steak and cheese? Or
Well, they got rid of roast beef and one other thing, and I forget exactly what it was, but it was two of the what I would have thought would be pretty popular items.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
anyway, I don't go
Well,
to Subway
Melissa,
all that
you know,
often. So.
what I thought about it, Melissa, I'm like, oh, well, okay. He can make commercials if he wants to. I don't see where it was newsworthy.
It's uncharacteristic. Oh, yeah.
It is
and I
uncharacteristic of him, but
The other thing
okay.
I thought of too is I don't recall ever hearing that there's any chain restaurants of any sort on Nantucket. And I'm like, so does he have to get in his boat and go over to, I don't know, the Cape or something to
he
get
went
to...
With the
he went-
hyenas.
He went to Connecticut to film this commercial.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know why they picked there. They just
Let
did.
me tell you, there's a lot of restrictions on filming right now of commercials because we're in the process of putting some new TV spots together. And basically, the guidelines that the state has put in place for filming things, you have to have a representative of the state on site during the entire shoot.
Oh my God!
And you can only have so many people on the
Really?
set at a certain time. And it basically, for these commercials we were going to shoot, was going to add some obscene amount of money to the cost of the production for the spots. So we
wow.
ended up going back to Plan B, which was a little less live action, a little
Yeah.
more still imagery. But it's amazing. So that commercial, I can't even imagine, first of all, the talent, how much that was going to cost them. But, you know, the production of it in and of itself, everybody was walking around with their masks. And interesting.
Okay. Well, maybe Bill Belichick is one of those guys. Maybe he's like Larry Bird. When Larry Bird played for the Celtics, they kept coming to him, endorse this,
Yeah.
and he always said no.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was no, until
McDonald's.
until a product that he actually used came to him, and there were two, and one was McDonald's.
Yep.
Any idea what the other one was? He did TV commercials for a product.
Larry Bird.
Was it a wearable?
No. It was food. So the first one was McDonald's.
Tyson Chicken?
No.
No.
It was Nestle Crunch Bars.
Oh wow!
He liked that candy bar.
Yeah. All right.
And so he did commercials for them because they asked him to do commercials for Nestle Crunch. Okay, I eat those, I'll do it.
Give those guys a lot of credit
So
if that's what they're doing.
maybe that's what Belichick does. Okay, I stop by Subway for whatever he stops by,
Yeah.
not a roast beef.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets a turkey and lettuce or whatever. And
Coach,
okay.
you do a commercial for us? All right.
Okay.
Nobody ever asked me.
Or maybe they
Do
did it.
they
It's
still
just
make Nestle Crunch bars?
oh sure,
Those are great.
I'm not dating myself here, am I?
No, they
no.
still make them.
No, I thought, but the competitor is Crackle, right?
Crackle with
Crackle?
Hershey's.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you get a variety of Hershey's miniatures, Crackle's in that, not Crunch Bars. I'm trying to think of the last time I saw a box of Crunch Bars at the grocery store near the checkout.
Well, then it's made by Nestle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now that she mentions it, I'm not sure I remember seeing one lately either.
Hey, everybody.
Not that I'm looking
Well,
for.
no.
Now we're going to have to go. camel
Everybody's
shopping.
off the Cumberland Farm to try and find a Nestle
Crunch Bar.
Crunch Bar.
And they're delicious.
I love my contributions to the show every week because they're really not of anything of substance. They're very.
Now that's the point. That's why we have John.
You know, it's
we have
funny,
John here
it's-
to do substance.
It's funny. It's funny you mention that because
please.
Go ahead, John.
I was shocked that you would say that about me.
Well, Melissa's the one with the two young kids here. So when you let them eat, so I'm gonna assume something that you let them eat candy bars. what kinds do they like?
They actually so they would tell you there's two categories of candy for them.
Okay.
So Halloween time, Easter, like the holiday time. I mean, they're going for Halloween is Reese's peanut butter cups.
Volume.
And, Easter is the chocolate bunnies, but like if they had something to grab on the way to a movie or something like that, it's going to be the chewy stuff. It's going to be Sour Patch Kids or Swedish Fish or something on that level. They don't usually gravitate to the chocolatey type thing.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's whatever something is available.
Like Sour Patch Kids are big.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I used to to love Nerds as a kid. Do you remember Nerds?
I do
I remember
remember.
Sweet Tarts. Do
Oh,
they
Sweet
still make
Tarts, I love
those?
those.
I think,
Yeah,
they
they
still, I think they still make those.
Spree.
Are the Nerds? They came in that box,
Yeah.
and were they chewy or were they crunchy?
Crunchy, I thought.
They
Crunchy.
were?
She could shake them.
Okay.
But you know, my kids did this. They recently discovered that there is a Twizzler type shape product now that's by Nerds, and it's covered in the crunchy Nerds. So for me, that I have to say, if I were 10 years old again, that probably would be my candy of choice. Now that I'm old and things like root canals exist, I'm not. I'm not going to go after that kind of option anymore. But
Okay.
Get the fluoride treatment when you
canals?
go to the dentist.
Now here I can date myself. Do you remember Pop Rocks?
Yes.
Pop, yes. Put them in your mouth.
Do you know what
yeah.
those are, Melissa?
I do. I used to love them.
Oh,
Whole
that's-
box in your mouth.
What
and
a-
it'll explode.
I
Yeah,
remember
but,
having them. Stupid candy.
Yes, Joe, as a young parent, I remember Pop Rock.
Oh, okay, there you go, John.
Pirate.
At least I'm like, boy, when do they stop popping?
I don't know.
After you
When
put
your
them in.
mouth when your jaw
That
falls
was-
off.
So, John, you gotta thank your lucky stars. Okay, John, go ahead.
Okay.
And you're on the
Thank my
Woonsocket
lucky
City
stars.
Council. You should be happy of that because you could be in Minneapolis. And do you know what they have to decide on in Minneapolis?
I can't even imagine what kind of nonsense.
What kind of candy they're going to
It's
provide?
got nothing to do
for
with
me?
candy. It's got nothing to do with protests or anything like that. Actually, it does have something to do with protests. But the Minneapolis Park Board, so it's not even the city council there. It's a park board. They're going to decide today on whether or not they should repeal their nudity ordinance.
Oh, so
Nudity.
they're going to allow the nudity?
They're going to. They want to. Well, they're going to. That's what they're going to talk about. And if
Okay.
they repeal it, they will allow. Here you go, Melissa. They're going to allow women to go topless in Minneapolis parks.
When they do that, you can
Oh,
always,
easy.
There goes the real
Legally-
estate market shooting up over there.
legally, you can do that in New York City now.
Yes. Well, this is Minneapolis. They're going to vote on it
So
today.
Minneapolis is looking to do that. Huh?
Yes. If the board will need to repeal the ordinance that's in place right now.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. No, they're going to do it, and because well, this is odd. They have the park board has to do it because it's illegal. This is funny. It's illegal in the park, but toplessness, regardless of gender, is allowed everywhere else in the city.
Really?
If you go to the park, you can't do it.
Interesting.
So that's why the park board is going to vote on it.
Probably has something to do with sunbathing regulations.
I'm sure it does.
They're getting rid of.
So you
I
can
don't care.
so you can be in downtown Minneapolis on the street,
Yeah.
and that's fine. But if you go lay down in the grass in
It's
the
a
park,
problem.
it's a problem.
I rank this up
Okay.
there with decisions about Pop Rocks and Twizzlers. You know, I really don't much care.
Okay. Well, I'm just
I'm glad
saying you
I'm
don't.
not the only person contributing topics of zero substance because I'm pretty sure this one
Oh my
falls.
God!
It's got a lot of substance.
No,
to it.
actually,
You know-
I think that one had more substance.
I have to tell you, the
I'm a
Coffee and Show is
libertarian
not
at
like
heart.
this on Fridays.
I'm a well.
guys are stuffy on Fridays.
Tom was an ultra conservative. I'm more of a libertarian.
Hey,
so
John, how's
if
he?
they want to do that, they can do it.
Speaking of Tom, how's he doing?
Tom is doing well. He's in seclusion, leading a monastic life.
He's in seclusion.
Occasionally breaking out to go play some rounds of golf, and but he still hasn't emerged on a Facebook post or a Twitter feed.
Oh well, you know he loves Facebook, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's laying low.
Face page.
All right, we got
Death of society.
to wrap things up for the show for today. So thank you very much for listening in, Melissa Smith. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, and John Ward, best of luck in your campaign, like we said last week, and we'll talk to you in November.
Officially a
Thank you
candidate.
very much, and you might talk to me before then, but I'll have to pay for it.
Right. Okay.
But everybody go out and enjoy the God-given day, and thank you very much for the time I've spent on Coffee In, and I'll see you again in November.
Very good. Thanks, John.
Bye, John.
Bye,
Good luck.
John.
Paul Willett, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and Tim Draper, thanks for coming in.
Joe, it's always a pleasure.
All right, this is Joe Callahan, and we'll talk to you this afternoon here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON, Woonsocket Radio, ON, AM, and FM. And now, the news. The Providence City Council is scheduled to vote on issuing a subpoena for body camera footage being examined in an assault case against a police sergeant. Joseph Hanley is currently suspended with pay and is accused of assaulting a man in handcuffs. City Council President Sabina Matos says the Public Safety Commissioner, Stephen Parry, has refused to grant access to the video after a request from the Providence External Review Authority. The Providence Journal newspaper reports full-time faculty at Rhode Island School of Design are agreeing to pension and salary adjustments to avoid faculty layoffs in the upcoming year. The layoffs were threatened last month after the school president said the college was hit by a multi-million-dollar deficit caused by the closing of in-person classes this past spring. Other bargaining units will vote on a revised proposal this week, according to the Projo report. The Baroaster House restaurant on Pond Street in Woonsocket is open for takeout and delivery of any dish on their menu. All you have to do is call them at 762-1717.